Welcome to this Easy Computer Fixes channel, and one of the questions that I get asked all the time is, should I get an Android tablet or should I get an iPad? They are two types of tablets, and people have a hard time really knowing and understanding the difference between both tablets. Well, one is made by Apple, the famous iPad, and it runs iOS, which is Apple's own operating system. The others run a version of Android. And the thing is that you got to be careful when choosing one of those tablets because you can end up with a tablet that runs a old version of Android that might not be upgradable, and that means that your tablet can become obsolete faster. It really is, you got to be careful to make a good choice. Same thing for iPads. iPads, there are some places that sell iPads at discount, but are often older generation iPads. You got to be careful not to have an iPad that is too old because you'll also be stuck with a problem of upgrade. But let's say you're putting the money and you are buying a good Android or the latest iPad. Well, the main difference is in the operating system. It is different in the way that it works. And I would say that if you're getting a tablet with the latest version of Android, it is becoming more and more easy to use, basically. Because one of the biggest comments that you get from iPad users is how easy it is to use. But you got to be careful because easy, yes and no. There are things that, yes, are kind of intuitive on iPads. There are things that are kind of complicated. On Android, you'll be able to do a little more because Android is a little bit like the Windows of operating systems. That means you'd be able to install apps and do things that, for example, easily plugging in most of the time USB thumb drives, or doing things like watching some certain types of videos that you can't on the iPad because of its closed operating system. It means that you can't go outside of their own way of doing things. That said, for most regular users, it will mostly come down to what are you using at home. If you have a Mac computer, the natural upgrade is an iPad. It integrates easily. Macs and, of course, Apple devices together work very well in their environment. You're running a Windows PC, a Chromebook, well then maybe you should look more into an Android tablet because it works well, it integrates well. If you have things like your phone app installed on them, you'll be able to easily share pictures on Windows. Of course, if you have a Chromebook, the Google environment makes it easier to integrate everything. So it's really a question of what type of environment you have at the beginning. For the rest, one of the big features of iPads is the long battery life. You require really long battery life. iPads, I have to say, even in 2019, most of them beat Android tablets by a good margin. That said, good Android tablets today have typical pretty long battery life. I've got one here, and I gotta say mine has at least a good 6 hours of battery life. But if you compare it to an iPad that will typically have 8 to 10 to 12 hours, it's still half of what an iPad can give. The rest, I think, has to do with trying it out. Go to, your favorite computer store. Most of them have these tablets that you can play with. Compare what you see, the screen resolution, and do you like the form factor. There's a lot more choices on Android side where iPads will have typical iPad looks. Really not a lot of in checking out what's available there. Then there will be, of course, the bells and whistles, the camera and the sound quality coming out of it, and so on. So whatever you choose, it's probably a good choice, but just be careful not to get old devices that might not be upgradable. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.